Good morning, good morning, good morning. God bless everyone. If you believe, you believe. If you don't, you don't. And God bless Shay. I am living my best life. I absolutely have some great news, and I'm not going to share it. But I have to say, I have to digress right now. Sometimes you have to move and shake in silence, boys and girls. I just cannot believe some of the blessings that's coming my way. No, it is not financial, not right now, but it will definitely bring my bag when it's ready. Let me explain something to y'all, and I have to say thank you. I have to say thank you, and I'm going to say thank you 1,001 times because you have no idea how you are helping me get what I need. But I'm going to also return the favor. You will never in your life have to worry about that. But I had a really nice evening. Um, I completely shut down, but I have been working in, like I said in a few of my videos, and I will constantly say it. I had to work on me doing little things. So I'm sitting here now laughing because of my little journal. I have a little journal. I have a few journals, and this one here is when I talk to God. This is only when I talk to God. I might be yelling at God one day, and then I have a little bit of talking to someone else that I will never see again. But I have every right to do what I choose to do in my own time. So I'm laughing because I put this here before I was reading in my Bible just a minute ago. I don't know anything in the Bible, can't understand the Bible. I can't piece together. So whatever other people know, I will never know. But I did open my Bible to start reading in the Bible, and that's it. That's all I can do. I can tell the truth on my end. That's it. But a few days ago, for years, I have been suffering with migraines. Now, there are medications that cause migraines, there are products, it doesn't matter. When you get migraines so bad that you suffer daily, you have to start moving and shaking. So, one day, a while, not too long ago, I noticed that I was spraying these Febreze around my home. So, there was a time that my daughter came in one day. She said, "Mommy, all of this fragrance in here." So when when I hear people say, "What do you have in here?" And I see, sometimes when you're in your home, you don't smell your home. Other people coming from the outside can smell your home. One of the blessings for me is that even right now in March, my windows are all open. This one, the living room and the bedroom. So I have an abundance of fresh air in my home. And I do have access to smelling my garbage in the kitchen. Now, I'm going to tell you something else that you're going to find strange, but it is me, and I am who I am. But anyway, so what I had noticed is that the migraines were so bad that I was just unable to concentrate. And then not only was it that bad, my head space was bad. So I had to do a lot of things to help me get to where I am today. And then a few weeks ago, I came into my room and I just stripped my bed down and I washed my pillowcases. And then I noticed that in the morning, my migraine was better. So then this morning, I realized something when I woke up. My migraine has been going for the last few days, and I absolutely had to stop and ask myself what were some of the changes. Now, my ashwagandha, I have been changing the time of day so I don't mix it with, just say vitamin C. And I've been doing all of those changes, and I was writing it in the journal. Now, where the journal is, I don't know, but I will find it. And then today, I realized I was in my room doing something, and I said, I love my pillowcases. Coral sent me a comfortable sheet set, so I washed my pillowcases. Then I noticed that I wasn't able to smell the fragrance that I needed to smell at night to make me feel a certain type of way. But I did feel a certain type of way that I really could not explain. But now I noticed that these two products, I said, they have a question mark on them. So I took a picture and I put it on I took a picture of the ingredients and then I searched up the ingredients, and absolutely this was contributing to my migraines. It is a lot of bad stuff in that bottle. Now, the reason why I won't go into telling you what this is because I can barely even pronounce the words. So I will never tell you what to take out of your home. What you bring into your home, how you spend your money is yours. I may come off a little bit harsh and rough at times. It is because I am who I am. I don't want to curtail too much uh, doing my videos to make myself someone that I'm not. You never know who you meet in society, and then you say, "Oh well, she's not like that. I was spent 3 hours with her. She said this." So I want to be myself to the best of my ability, while I still remember that there are some people that don't like, maybe an adult word or a casual word that doesn't make you smarter, make you dumber. I understand all of that. So when I say one of the things that I had to do was stop, look, and listen, and it helped me, and I'm going to always use those three metrics in everything that I do: stop, look, and listen. And I realized that I was in a group on Facebook that I found to help me get out the house, and it was the Dollar General penny list group. So when I was excited, on Saturday they give you the coupon 5 for 25 or 5 off 25. I don't know what it is anymore. I just don't go there like that. So I started to go there, and I would look for the spray and the laundry thing and all of these things. And then I had to do another stop, look, and listen. So I did a lot of going behind the scenes, and I realized, and one aspect of my life helped me realize what was beneficial to me. So not only have I stopped the 5 for 25 coupon on Saturday, it is definitely not a savings to save $5. Absolutely is not a savings. So I no longer partake in that. And then on top of that, I barely go to Dollar General. When I do, I go to the little section and pick up my little cleaning supplies, whatever. And I'm going to be moving away from doing that as well. That's one of the reasons why I'm using vinegar to clean up a lot in my home. So with that said, I have to say something that happened to me many years ago helped me realize that I needed to go and do a little bit more searching. I'm going to cushion this one the best way I can. We all know that I am not racist. I'm not racist. I have white family, a lot of white family on my father's side. So there is no racism in me whatsoever. And if you really know me better than most, you would really know that there's no possible way I would ever be. If I was, it would definitely not be where you think it would be. So we're going to keep that very well understood. I don't want any problems. So not that I would care. I had to get to a point where I had to stop caring in order to start loving myself. So I was working in a town called, I think it's pronounced Armonk, New York. Now, if you could do me one kind favor, just for you to follow me a little bit. I don't know if there is any video on YouTube with Armonk, New York, but if there is, just go to YouTube and put in Armonk, New York. I think it's Armonk. I'm not sure. I didn't do it myself. Matter of fact, I could do it myself. Uh, I don't know, but I'm going to turn my TV down. We don't want any violations with YouTube. And I'm going to go to YouTube, and I'm going to put in living in Armonk. I'm just gonna do that. I want to be mm, okay. I didn't have to put in. living in Armonk, New York. I put in Armonk and it popped up New York. Okay, absolutely. So it is definitely here. It is definitely here. Now, put in living in Armonk and just start watching a few videos. I don't know what you may see, but you will see whatever. I don't know. Anyway, what helped me get to understanding something is that when I was working in Armonk, there was a dynamic that was very clear to me, day one stepping on the soil. So then there were some times that I had a lunch break and I would go to my lunch break. I would go to what we would call a bodega. I don't know what would be there, but I was a younger person, so I started to take notice what was not available there. Now, at that time, I wasn't drinking, and I damn sure wasn't drinking 50-cent beer, but I wanted to see something because I didn't know if I was seeing what I was really seeing. So I was looking in some of the bodegas where I live, and then I would go there on my lunch break because I really didn't have anything else to do, and I would notice that there were things that were in my bodega that was not in that bodega. Now, I don't believe that they would call the bodega in Armonk, New York, a bodega. Don't believe so at all. But the 50-cent beer was definitely not there. And what we call the crackhead juice, which is still very popular now, definitely wasn't there. But I was I was absolutely fundamentally financially embarrassed. So I actually was looking for that crackhead juice because I really wanted something to drink, but I couldn't even afford a bottle of water. So I obviously wasn't getting anything. But uh, I can promise you, the one thing I did feel was absolutely amazing every time I was there. I only had one issue with an adult there, and it was obviously what you would think it was, but it was never to the point where I would leave the job and feel so um, overwhelmed that I wouldn't want to go back to work. It was an issue where the person wasn't exposed to a certain dynamic of person, so they were not able to understand a basic part of society because it wasn't something they were used to. That was it. I had full awareness at that age to understand. So it was never anything I took personally. But if you look on here, you will understand what I mean. Now, I have come to learn maybe about 5 or 6 years ago because one day I walked into the store, and if you don't know what a crackhead juice is, it is a little juice that comes in a box with maybe 20 of them, I don't know, and they're called barrels. They look like little barrels, and they're clear, and they have little flavored water in it. So one day I went to the store and I saw them, and I said, oh, this was like going back into my past. So I picked it up, and boy, when I put it in my mouth, the fibromyalgia came back like a boom. So I was really happy about that because then I realized yet again I was killing myself by what I was putting in my mouth. So you will never find that type of dynamic in my home. I think they're like maybe probably $1 now, but I would never give that to my grandchild if I had a grandchild. And I'm so thankful for the person that I am today because I know that living poor and being on whatever does not mean that I have to walk into a store and buy this box that contains 15 or whatever because it's this price and I can afford it. Absolutely not, because what I'm absolutely doing is harming whoever is going to have that. Maybe not now if I can't see it, but later on. So I have to stay in consistency with that. Now, this right here, I am thankful beyond words that I will never use this in my home again. I love this because I love the scent, but this is not the only product that I will never use in my home again. I was absolutely fond of Gain laundry detergent, and I had Gain everything. But over time, I got to understand that Gain is not a good product to put on my clothing because not only are those chemicals inside my laundry going into my body, but they were going into my nose and they were going into my head. I didn't realize at the time how detrimental it was until I saw someone that is so stuck in their ways, suffering with health issues. And when I was, now I'm going to use my words very carefully because I don't want to make a certain anyone, because trust me, the person is not watching my video. I can promise you the person's not watching my video. But I'm learning to be a little different because you don't want to make a person feel like you're speaking of them if you ever step foot in their home before. So when I say what I say, is because I saw it for myself. But there are times you can go into someone's home and you can see some of their favorite items. But when a person is dealing with health issues and you don't know why, and you're going to the doctor, and you can't figure it out, you have to stop and say, okay, it is something that I'm doing to myself. I will never say all doctors are looking for a paycheck, but 9 times out of 10, every employee that clicks a punch a ticket on a clock is looking for a paycheck. If you don't stop, if I don't stop and realize that concept in all aspects of my life, I am not going to help myself get to where I need to be, because I know I'm going to be alone when I'm 80 years old if I'm still here. So why would I not help myself? It makes no sense to me. So when I say what I say, I am not saying it to you to change how you feel about how you do your thing to take care of yourself. I love you, and I'm thankful you love me enough to know that we can live together in harmony, respecting one another's choices. You have your choices, your options, your decisions, your consequences, and I have the same. I am thankful that these two products will never be brought into my home again. I also noticed something else when I was going to Dollar General. I started to look at Dollar General, and I started to notice that they predominantly always have what Fetch Rewards will give you the most points on. It's clear as day. Now, I am a supporter of Fetch. I will always be a supporter of Fetch, because even if I get 25 cents, I like 25 cents. It is about the nickels and dimes. It's not about anything else. But I noticed that I don't reap the rewards that other people reap, even if a person will say, no, that's not true. Well, if it's not true to you, God bless you. I'm only speaking for me. I don't put General Mills cereal in my shopping cart. There is no way in hell I would ever bring General Mills cereal in my home. So all of those points on Fetch that I would get for General Mills, I will not get. So just say if I wanted to help someone else, maybe pick up this because someone needed it and I knew they ate General Mills, maybe I would. It doesn't matter that I won't eat it. I have to do what I'm doing for me. So just say if I wanted to help someone else, if you and you ate General Mills cereals and I knew it, I would pick it up. I don't want to say it again. We're going to leave it there. But just understand that there are a lot of promotions, and they're promoting stuff that is not necessarily good for your household. And when I started to notice that, I removed myself from the Dollar General group. And then one of the blessings that happened to me going into Dollar General one day, I lucked up on the pennies. Now, there's this group and everybody's going and they looking for the pennies, and I lucked up on the pennies. But a lot of people grab some pennies and they say they donated it to the shelter and stuff like that. That is great. I kid you not, I applaud you for that, but I'm going to tell you how it really is. There are a lot of people going into the Dollar General, taking all of those pennies to the flea markets in the summertime, and they're charging a lot more than a penny for that stuff. And the reason how I know that is because I am in groups, and there are people now saying that if you notice a table and it looks like the Dollar General, to walk by it. And it is the truth. It is the truth. Now, I kid you not, I don't have a problem supporting someone else's table because, of course, if I'm there, I would hope someone is there to do the same for me. But if I walk up on a table and I see it looked like Dollar General, and I see that it looked like you grabbed a whole bunch of pennies and then you have $3 on it, you will get the best greeting from me. I will look at your table. I will say, "Oh, this is nice," whatever the case may be, but you will not get $1 from me. That's it. Because I will never go into the store, grab up all of those pennies that 9 times out of 10 someone else could have used for something else. It doesn't matter. Now, if I bought something for a penny and I sat in my house and I handmade it, I took my time and I did this and I took my creativity and I did this. If I had to pay a site and I had to pay fees and I had to ship it and I had to put a stamp, all of that stuff comes with a process. So I am not speaking of stuff like that. I'm speaking of just going to Dollar General, buying this for a penny, and then put it on the flea market table and put $3 on it. That's all I'm talking about. And I don't want to dissect anybody's hustle and grind because I don't have a right to do that. Everyone has a right to feed themselves. So maybe how I feel might change. So maybe Coral might whisper in my ear and say something to make me change how I feel. And then if that's okay, that's okay too. So that is a blessing. I went into, like I said, Dollar General, but when I saw the pennies, it was predominantly toys. But then I said to myself, this would be a good moment to grab some of these to take to a shelter. But then I am a certain type of person. I stopped and I asked myself, for one, can I afford even the pennies that it would cost me to take this and give it to the shelter? And at the time, I could not, because I was basically scraping on whatever it was. I was scraping by to get what I came in there for, which was 9 times out of 10 something fundamental to run my household, nothing else. So I also had to do another thing, only for myself. I had to ask myself, okay, say if I took 5 or 6 of these to the shelter and I gave it to the shelter. Obviously, these are the type of toys that, just say it was a doll baby. You may give the baby the doll baby right now, and then tomorrow you may find the head over there and the body over there. So what did I actually give in donation? I actually gave a little child trauma, because that head over there and that body over there is going to have that child crying, and then the parent is going to be like, "I can't fix this doll, I wish." And that is trauma. And if you don't believe me, that's fine too. But I would rather give something that I know would be something that's going to keep for a while, rather than something that 9 times out of 10 is going to break and cause the child who started to love upon this item to cry. Because people don't realize that when that child is crying, the adult inside is crying, because they may be tired, they may not have gotten enough sleep the night before, they may not have someone to give them 5 minutes, just to quiet themselves, sit in the bathroom, close the light out. You don't know a person's story. So I'm not going in Dollar General, grab up a whole bunch of junk and take it to the shelter and say, this is something I'm doing for kindness. That's not kindness. For me, what you do with your pennies is a different story. So there goes that. Now, what I do have to say for myself is that I was in my closet and I pulled out a whole bunch of towels. Now, I won't say a bunch because it's only about 5 or 6. So what a bunch is to me is whatever to you. So I washed the towels, and then I realized that one of the towels is like this. One of the towels is I don't know if I did it, because this was been here a long time. So this towel is cut. So I don't know who cut it. I don't honestly believe I did, but I could have cut it. But I'm honestly telling you, the towel has been in this house for a number of years in a closet that I completely was doing nothing with. So this morning, and I don't know who this is, the clothing company, the company store. I don't even know what the store is. So, however, but it's a very good towel. What little piece that is left. So this morning I was sitting down. Every time I turn around, I think about this blessing that just come across me. So this morning I was thinking, and I said, that's not going in the garbage. There's no way I'm throwing that towel in the garbage. So I went in, got all of the towels that were in my closet, and I threw them in the washing machine. So for the last few days, I have been washing a towel here, a towel there. And then I said to myself, this has to actually be intentional. So Coral came to my mind because she has a little cutie pie, running around her house. So I said, there is a pet shelter. I don't know where the animal shelter is. I do know we have one. I know I looked for it. I know there's a sign on the street. I know I went to Google everything, but they are hidden behind other stores because I know exactly which street it's on. I rode down the street, I slowed down, I looked, I know it's there. And then I asked someone, a while ago, and they said, it's still there. So I don't know where the animal shelter is. I do know I even called there and no one answered the phone. And that ticked my nerves because I actually had uh, some supplies that could have been used by the animal shelter. So the towels that I washed, I almost put them out in the hallway so one of my neighbors could take. But I'm going to tell you something, and hopefully with kindness you can understand where I'm sitting at this moment and realizing what I realized. And I said, now if it's a food item or something, I may put it out in the hallway, but I'm going to remove myself from putting things out in the hallway. I tend to knock on a door or two and hand it whatever. And I love kindness. I have no issues with my neighbors, but I'm going to tell you something that means the world to me. The world to me. And if you feel I should rethink it, trust me, you can tell me and I will rethink it because I am very open minded. But I'm going to possibly take a ride today and pull my car over into a safe space, get out of my car, and ask a stranger where the animal shelter is. My towels are going to the animal shelter, and that's it. No one else is getting my towels. I'm not putting them in a hallway. I'm not doing any of that. And the reason why is because I have learned that kindness is free. Kindness is free. There are holidays that go by. There are just any day occasions that go by. And I am like invisible. So when I say that, trust me, there is no sadness involved in that. Reality is a freaking blessing, boys and girls. Reality is a blessing because when you get your blessing, you have to know how to handle it. And I am going to get my blessing and I'm going to be as quiet as I can with my blessing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's a person that watches my videos that does not comment. He know he better not comment on my video. And I messaged him and I asked him to come to my house today. Thank you. Well, okay, bring a bowl big enough for something because I purchased something, I tasted it, I don't like it, I'm not going to throw it away, so I believe your household can use it. So thank you. I see the message. So let me make sure I say something else to you real quick. Cuz I watch my video. I don't know if he's watching, but watch my video. Watch. There you go. Okay, so he got the message. Now I can take this phone, and guess what, boys and girls? I can turn it off because we don't need to be having nuisance around us. Click off, click off, click off. How do you turn this down? Okay, there. I had it a minute ago. Wait, I hate. When you get the thing to say power off, that's what my phone is acting up. Okay, he said, okay. When you get here, turn my phone off because clearly I can't. Okay, so we're gonna leave that over there. But no one's gonna be harassing me. I have to have my walnuts during the day. I eat walnuts to help me with my memory, and it's doing a great job. So I hope and pray no one is offended by anything that I've said. I'm just overwhelmed because I have to explain to this person something that I'm dealing with, because I'm not going to go into details about every single thing. It's just that we made each other a promise many years ago that if anything happened, we would always help one another. So I want him to know, because he's dealing with something very hard right now. But I want him to know that I'm going to keep my promise to him, because a promise is a comfort to a fool. He's not a fool, so there goes that. But oh, I'm so thankful. I When I say you have to change who you are by yourself. And I don't know, but I'm gonna leave these here. Just because I get a headache doesn't mean that anyone else gets a headache. So instead of me putting these wherever, but I'm not putting anything in the hallway anymore. And that's because I've noticed something about here. So I have some brand new chairs that I obviously I'm not going to be able to do anything with. I don't know where to put them, but a few days ago I put something in the lobby, and brand new, very expensive, and it was gone within minutes. But everyone pretty much knows who's putting this here and who's putting that there. And I don't even understand why a person doesn't have a 5 minutes of awareness to understand that kindness is something that everyone does. You can't just be a taker, you know. You can knock on a person's door. Now, don't offer me any food. Please don't offer me any food. I kid you not. I'm not. I'm gonna keep it real funky. I come from West Indian heritage. If your house is not clean, I'm not eating the food. If you walking around and you touching all this and you walk in your refrigerator, I'm not eating the food. If I don't see that you have hand touch to cleanliness, I'm not eating the food. So it doesn't matter, and it means no disrespect to anyone, but I have learned that people have a mentality of comfort in certain behaviors, and it is a blessing because everyone's entitled to that blessing. But dust particles, things that drop out of the air, smoking cigarettes, puffing on marijuana all day, all of that leaves things in the air that falls down on your surfaces. And if you are that type of person that feels like these things are comfortable and you just pick up a pot and cook in that pot, owe yourself some kindness and don't serve anyone any food. And that's it. And the reason why I'm saying that is not to be disrespectful to what you do in your home, but you don't want a lawsuit for getting someone else sick. That's it. If you can focus on that, then nothing else matters. There's a woman now, I saw in the news yesterday. She's in the hospital, and she's in the hospital because she went to a friend's house that was not kept in a tidy way, and she ended up with something very bad. And I kid you not, I honestly think that there should be some type of law entanglement in that, because a person can say, this is my house, I live this way, and that's fine. I respect the hustle and grind, because look at my room. My room may not be up to par for some people, and this is what I'm living in. I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to be, but I have no right in this world to feed someone in an untidy atmosphere, knowing that anything that goes into that person's body can soil them. I have no right to do that. That's not love. That's not care. That's not compassion. I don't care what planet you were born on. That's not compassion. Before you go in your refrigerator, pull out food, and you need to know that that food is good. I read somewhere yesterday, I think it was yesterday, a woman left something out on her stove a certain amount of hours, and she didn't feel it was good enough to offer her extended family. So although she didn't want to throw it in the garbage, she threw it in the garbage. Now I kid you not, I was thankful when I read what she read, because the key word was feeding other people. Now me, I will leave my pot on that stove and I'm eating that damn pot of food too, because I know my food is good. I know there's nothing in my pot. But that doesn't mean that if someone comes in, I'm going to feel okay to give them my breakfast that I had on the stove for a couple hours. I will not do that. If I have kindness in me and I trust the person on my stove, I'll say, you can fix you something to eat if you're hungry. And one of the things that I really check for, if nothing else, is the property owner who provided me comfort of staying here. So I don't want just anyone at my stove that can risk a fire and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it was an accident." God damn it, that wasn't a fucking accident. That was a crime scene. Are you serious? So we have to be, accountable to ourselves by being accountable for the behavior that someone else bestows inside your home. Feeding someone, you have to be very careful, very careful. Like Coral, the way Coral takes care of her food, I would eat Coral's food with my eyes closed. You understand? But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and Coral has a pet. I already know how she love up on herself. She love up on her pet. She take care of her pet. But me, if I go into someone's house and they have a pet and I know that pet goes in their kitchen and is on their kitchen counter, you don't even have to offer me a glass of water. I don't want it. It has nothing to do with anything outside of the fact that that hair, that one piece of hair, I could just lift the glass up and that hair can get in my eye. I already had a cat hair in my eye in my own home. So, and there will never be a cat accessible to my kitchen. Anyone who saw my videos when I had my cats in here, my cats were not allowed in my kitchen. So if you want to believe me, just put up a post on Facebook. What would stop you from eating in someone's home? And just phrase it any kind of way you want to, and I guarantee you there will be a lot of people that says something about if they have a pet. And then if you really want to go deeper, go to each of those people's profile. There will be something you will take notice. There are people that know that pets are pets, and there are people that know that pets are family, and there are people that, so everybody lives together. We all have to love up each other and we all have to be included. But there's no way in hell I'm going to allow myself, because I kid you not, there is a pet that needs to come back here, and that pet knows that I love it, everything, raise everything, but it can't come back here. Why? Because I will never sell a greeting card to someone. If I even had that cat in my craft room, I don't know who's allergic to pet dander, and I'm not going to put in my listing pet free home, and listed maybe 3 years ago, and the listing is still up. Then all of a sudden I have a pet, walking in while I'm crafting and doing a video. I'm not doing that. That one view of the cat will disintegrate everything else that I did. It is what it is. I've literally seen it happen, on Facebook. A person purchased something. The person said no pets in the house. The person who purchased it went deep and found a picture of the cat sitting up on something in the home, circled the cat, and then put it up on social media with the person's business and information. So you have to be careful. Someone could see me in the street, in Dollar Tree, steal a 50-cent candy bar. No, there's not a 50-cent candy bar in Dollar Tree. Please use your head. And snap a picture of me with my shirt that has my big old boy head on it, and then put it on social media. I saw her steal a 50-cent candy bar. That one video can bring my whole everything down. That's why I'm very careful with what I'm going through now and the blessings that's coming against me, not to say it, because I know that not everyone who watches my channel is for me. Why? Because they don't comment. A person who leaves a comment on your videos really care about you. Really care about you. People who don't, They don't care enough about you. Even me, I will watch a video on my TV, and later on I will go on my computer and I will leave the person a comment. When a person can see who's watching their videos, it makes them feel safer. You don't know who's watching you. You could have a pedophile, you could have a serial killer, you could have everybody, you could have a serial cheater, you could have a no good patient, you could have anyone watch your channel, but you have to feel safe. And I didn't feel safe on my YouTube channel. I feel safe on my YouTube channel now because I have put measures around me, like little guards rails that I can see, but I don't want to put fear in anyone's eyes. But we all have to understand that you don't know who is watching. Your next door neighbor could be watching you. I know someone in my building is watching me. How I know? You don't have to worry about how I know. I know someone's not watching me in my building and getting information from my video in my building. How I know? It doesn't matter how I know, but you just don't know. And when a person is watching you, watching you, and they're not commenting, there's a reason why they're not commenting. So you have to be mindful of that. That's why I'm thankful that I've decided I don't want a paycheck from YouTube, because I will never allow someone to see me come up and then drop me down to the bottom and then laugh behind my back and stuff like that, because they're laughing now. But I feel so sorry for a lot of people because they're not taking the time that they need to do to get them where they're going. They're cheating the system. They're stealing from this, and they think it's good. But stuff that's good is good. We all have something that we shouldn't do that we have to do to eat. I've lived it. I know it. But there are times that we have to pay the piper. And what I want right now, for one, is I want to move and shake, and I'm working every step of the way. But consistency for me is being quiet. So hopefully, my friend, when he comes, I'm not going to tell him what my good news is, but I'm going to let him know that. And the only way I'm going to be able to consciously provide him with whatever I get from working as hard as I plan on working, slow and steady, his life has to be in order. His life has to be in order. I'm not going to enable a goddamn soul. It's not going to happen. And the reason why? Because I'm not going to force anyone to enable me. I'm not going to do it. So if a person's life is not fundamentally on the right path and they're not doing this, and this to be living in a savory state of mind and wellness, I can't partake in that because it takes me backwards from what I'm actually working so hard to get. This morning I realized that I really want to contact a lawyer, not just for one person, but for a few people, because one of the books that I'm writing today means so much to me because of the trauma it caused me. But I'm not going to share that information because I want everything I do now not to be attached to me in any type of way. But we have to remember in life that when someone relies on us for care, no matter how hard it might be, if we can't provide the care that they need, we need to make it possible that they are put in a position to where they can get the care they need, no matter what we losing them. And that is where I'm going to stand forever, because I can see a lot of sufferation. I can feel a lot of sufferation. Yesterday I sat on my bed. I felt someone's pain, and the tears just fell all out of my eyes. I had to grab my chest because I can feel what she's going through. But one of the worst things in the world you could ever do is hold on to a person for what they bring to the table. I don't care who you are. I don't care how it sounds to you. And I mean that in the best way possible. Yesterday, a wife said, she forgave her husband, he was his discretions, and, she really loves him. I don't care about any of that. I was someone's wife. I will never say I regret anything in my life because sometimes some of these things got me to where I am today. But what I do absolutely love is that even though I didn't know it at the time, the struggle I went through leaving was the best gift I gave myself. Why? Because even if I don't know what it is this person is keeping me around for, if a person can hold my hand outside, take me to the dance hall outside, and go behind my back and lick up and suck up and eat up all of that, and then come back and want to love me up in the eyes of the community. I don't have to know what it is I bring to the table. I just need to know what it is I no longer want to bring to the table, because that there is pain that no one should be attached to. And to read what I was reading from this woman, that's why I say I don't care what the stigma of it's cheaper to keep her is. It is cheaper to keep her, but it is so much value in the struggle that you will have to go through to take back what you don't know is the main source of them keeping you, and it's not the money. 9 times out of 10, it is not the money. Just like you can stay with someone all these years and feel like when they die you're going to get this come up, and then you find out they had was so much debt that you didn't know about. They had all these credit cards you didn't know about. They had a habit you didn't know about. You know what they did? They did to you what you allowed them to do to you. Why? Because you didn't take a hold. That's why I say to women, you need to find a jar, put some money in it, and make sure that if anything happens, you can leave with your documents and that jar, that suitcase, whatever the case may be. But I kid you not, life is so amazing. I saw a man post that he loved his wife so much that he's going to divorce her. Why? Because he wants her to find the love that she deserves. I kid you not. That was the best thing that I could have read when I read it, because that is love. Love is parting ways from someone when you know they're not for you. I will love someone to the day I die that I don't believe I will ever see. And you believe me, when I get my come up, he's going to get come up too, even if he doesn't know it was from me. Why? Because he helped me by bringing 5 minutes of awareness in my life. You can't teach a person something that they're not willing to learn. And I love a person that teaches me something, whether it I went through some tears or whether I went through joy. I want to learn every single day that I am provided with the access to open my eyes and use my head. I'm only sorry for one thing. I can't remember much of anything, and that's due to trauma. I went through medical, whatever. I don't have a good way of remembering. That's one of the reasons why you see me holding on to this piece of walnut, because it helps with memory. And it is because one of the things that I did not expect was to be remembering a lot of trauma that I went through. But I need to find a way to speak to my medical provider without speaking to my medical provider, because I know some things that I've been dealing with, but I think it's due to physical trauma. So I'm going to work on that the best way I can. I'm going to stop running my big fat trap now, and I want to say thank you for watching my video. If you liked anything about this video, I would like you to leave it in the comments so that I can know if this is something I should continue. I don't know what I'm going to be cooking, but I believe I will be doing another video. Now that I have learned what it is I did not learn about YouTube, I feel um, more joy in showing more of what I'm going through behind the scenes while I'm still being careful in everything that I do. So I learned something about YouTube that I didn't know before. And if you are a senior citizen, you're home, you don't have anything to do. You could be a young person. It doesn't matter your age. Let's take the age off the table. You don't have to want to earn from YouTube. Just if you feel like it, start a YouTube channel. You don't have to ever tell anyone what that YouTube channel is doing for you. Just take the time to see if you can figure out what being on YouTube is going to do for you, even if you don't collect a paycheck. And always remember, you don't want money that someone can give you today that is inconsistent, that you need for survival tomorrow, that they can take away. And I kid you not, if you remember that, you can go to YouTube, you can build your YouTube, and you can do everything you need to do, and you will never need a paycheck from YouTube. I'm going to look for someone today in order to come back and tell you something that I want to tell you. But this person was so excited to get out of low income housing. He talks so bad about low income housing, and I'm going to say this very carefully. He, she, it, or that. That's how we going to keep it. Was so excited, and I mean, it was just the words were just flowing, and I don't ever bow. One day the letter came in the mail. Boom, what? And everything was gone. Next thing you know, everything was gone. Next thing you know, everything was gone. Now I have yet to see a video. But what I did take notice, for a while, this person was alone in everything they did. And then next thing you know, I see pop up on the scene, and they all up and posing up, and yeah, you starting to do all the wrong things with your come up. I don't see this person at all. But I'm going to use some selective keywords in YouTube to see if this person is still on YouTube. I had to actually stop watching the videos, because one thing I am not going to do, no matter what my struggle is disrespect who provides me with shelter because I got that bag. No, because I guarantee you, until I secure that bag, I may need whoever. You never know who you need. Never know who you need. That's why I always say there is someone who did something for me that meant the most to me in the world, and I am going to make sure I pay that. I pay kindness to that person, even if they don't ever know it was tied to this, that, or whatever, which I really don't have to say is tied to that, because right now, if I was hungry and I went to this person, you believe me when I tell you there would be a meal on my table, or they would sell me something, or they would cash at me something. And you want to know how life is so amazing, and I'm going to have to really be careful because I'm about to cry. I want to help someone, and I can't. I can't because I have nothing to help them with. But someone recently said to me, you need to put your Cash App on your videos because you are actually helping people. And I did put my Cash App on my videos, and I got to the point where I never checked the Cash App. And then one day I actually needed something, and then I said, let me check my Cash App. And when I saw my Cash App, Beverly has sent me $15. And I kid you not, I don't know if I will ever meet Beverly. I probably don't want to meet Beverly, because the suspense of not knowing who she is, knowing that I feel so connected to her, is a blessing. You don't know what a person could be. They could be a trigger to you. They might wear a red shirt and you don't like red, and then you don't like the person because they was wearing that red shirt, and it means you feel a certain type of way. So when I say what I say, always take kindness in the things that I say. But I kid you not, the towels going to the animal shelter, that is a gift that Coral will always have in me, no matter if I ever meet Coral, because that is something that I should have been able to think of on my own. Whether I did or not didn't matter. But the fact that Coral is in this house with me every single day means that the fundamentals that she has given me to help me carry on in my life is a blessing. So even if I don't leave my house today, these towels will not leave here unless I go physically find somewhere to park my car safely in a parking lot where they can't put a boot on it. and then I'm gonna find the animal shelter. Now I'm not gonna ring on the doorbell, none of that. I'm just gonna leave a bag tied up so nothing like rain or anything can get in it, and just leave the towels on the on the thing, and that's it. But that is gonna be my story. I want to say one thing. I need this video to get to an hour. I have to. There is something that comes with the gravy. You need a video, and it needs to be at least an hour. Whatever it is you may not know is your business, but I need this video to be 1 hour long, and I need it to be watched a minimum of 30 minutes. That's it. If you love me, you're going to watch the video from beginning to end, and I know Coral is, and I know Beverly is, and I know Mary is, so your girls doing what you got to do. Tina, I love you. I absolutely love you. And one of these days, you're going to really understand. Because what you don't understand is what I'm dealing with right now has a lot to do with what you helped me with. You have such a kindness when I listen to your videos. I don't understand what Coral listens to at night when she listens to my videos to go to bed. But there are times when I'm dealing with stuff I have to put your videos on. The only thing I wish I could ask is that you would put a video that doesn't pertain to that, because I need your voice. I need your voice. So I don't know if I could explain it to you clearly without going into too much detail, but I need your voice. So maybe something else, because that is not clearly you, if you understand, but I need your voice. So there are times I put it on, but then I can't get into it because I'm not there, if you understand. So I love you, but if you could please, if you go to the supermarket and you buy a bag of tea, put the video up for me. Tag me in it so I can see it or whatever. I don't know how y'all do these things, but I love everyone, and thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. I'm going to have to send this video to someone that I'm friends with on Facebook to get her back on this line here, because when the blessings start flowing, she needs to be part of the blessings. But in order for her to be part of the blessings, she has to be part of the blessings, if you understand. I'm not going to let this video get to an hour because I need to do something. Bye bye.